The first shot came at dawn. The colony world of Hesperia, settled by Earth's third expansion wave, was a peaceful sphere of oceans and grasslands. Families there still spoke of Earth as home, even generations later. They farmed, traded, sang under two moons, and then the Varn Dominion came. Their ships, sleek, needle-like constructs of silver and glass, descended without warning. Not a declaration of war, not a word of negotiation. Just silence, and then fire. Atmospheric converters turned the skies black. Energy lances burned entire cities to vapor. Their admiral, Karth Velnor, watched from orbit, recording the devastation as trophies. When the planetary governor begged for mercy, broadcasting on every channel, voice breaking over the static, the Varn admiral ordered her execution broadcast back. "You humans expand like rot through the stars," Velnor said coldly. "You build soft worlds and think them sanctuaries. The Dominion corrects infestations." By the time the sun set on Hesperia, 50 million human lives were gone. The colony's surface was glass, and the admiral raised a toast to his crew. "Mark this day," he said, smirking. "Earth is defenseless, scattered and weak. Let the galaxy see what becomes of those who trespass upon Varn's sovereignty." The bridge erupted in applause, laughter, arrogance. They didn't know that every second of that transmission had been recorded, and that back on Earth, someone was watching. The mockery of kings, the Galactic Council convened 3 days later. The Varn ambassador strutted before the assembly, reciting the same words his admiral had broadcast. Around him, species old and cautious nodded. Others, fearful of Earth's new colonies, whispered that perhaps the humans had reached too far, too fast. "They are emotional," said one. "Reactive, impulsive, savage." "They lack the fleets to respond," said another. "Earth is barely holding her own territories." "They will sue for peace," the Varn sneered, "if they have any left to send envoys." No human delegation was present. The council chamber was quiet where their seats stood empty. Rumors spread through the starways. Earth was silent. The colonies had gone dark. No transmission, no outrage, no demands. The Varn ships celebrated across occupied space, calling it the culling of the weak. Varn warbands raided the outskirts of human trade routes, confident in their dominance. And when traders spoke in hushed tones of shadowy ships seen at the edge of known space, dark, angular shapes that emitted no signals, the Varn dismissed it as superstition. "Ghost fleets," they mocked. "Humans scaring themselves." They laughed, and somewhere, something listened. The long silence Earth did not reply. For months, the homeworld stayed eerily quiet. No transmissions from Sol, no delegations. The colonies received no orders. Even the human fleets near the core withdrew to unknown coordinates. Across the stars, alien analysts puzzled over the silence. "Perhaps their government has collapsed," said one, "or perhaps they cannot muster the courage to fight," said another. Primitive species often lack the stomach for retaliation. But on the outer edges of space, entire systems began to vanish from the star maps. Ships reported flickering distress calls, then silence. Patrol beacons went dark. Varn supply convoys failed to arrive. Scouts found the wrecks drifting through the void, hulls carved open as if by invisible blades. When one transmission finally reached Dominion Command, it contained only a few words. "They're here. No lights, no mercy, no faces." Then, static. The awakening of Earth. It began with a signal from Sol. One encrypted transmission sent across every major network, broadcast in every language, every spectrum. It was not a plea. It was not a warning. It was a statement. Earth acknowledges the loss of Hesperia. Earth acknowledges the slaughter of her children. The Dominion will answer. No one had heard the Earth Defense Authority speak in nearly a century. Humanity had long been considered decentralized, fractured across colonies and fleets. But the voice that spoke now carried the weight of steel and wrath. Then came the visuals. The iron fleets rose from the shipyards orbiting Luna and Mars. Massive silhouettes black as void, no insignia, no transponders. Their hulls absorbed light itself. Every vessel was clad in ablative iron composites, sensor-reflective plating, and rail spine armaments that dwarfed anything the Dominion had ever fielded. Thousands of ships, dozens of dreadnoughts, fleets built in secret beneath the cloak of human isolationism. They called them the Iron Shadows. And as they formed above Earth, every human world received the same order. "Stand down. Do not interfere. This is not war. This is justice." The galaxy trembled. The Varn laughed. "They think shadows and silence will frighten us? Let them come." They would regret those words. The unseen war. The first Varn fleet vanished near Epsilon Eridani. No distress calls. No survivors. Just cold emptiness where 42 Dominion warships had been. 3 days later, the Dominion's outer communications array was severed by an unknown EMP surge. Entire networks collapsed. Then, orbital stations began reporting movement. Brief flickers on radar, like ghosts passing through systems. The Varn deployed hunter-killer groups. None returned. At the Dominion capital, panic began to stir beneath their arrogance. Their high command demanded explanations. The generals offered none. Then, one of their forward stations caught a transmission. Not from humans. From their own ships, hijacked and rebroadcast. "We are the Iron Shadows. You killed our children. We have come to collect the debt." The voice was flat, mechanical, devoid of humanity. It repeated across the galaxy like a curse. And then, in orbit over Varn's Prime Forge world, the sky broke open. The descent of iron. When the iron fleets arrived, they did not decloak with ceremony or warning. They appeared as if space itself had folded open. Massive, black-edged forms slipping out of the void, engines cold, weapons hot. Their hulls bore no markings, no light, only the gleam of moving death. Varn defenses opened fire. Thousands of plasma batteries screamed into the void. The human ships did not evade. They advanced through the inferno, their kinetic barriers flaring white. Then they answered. From the leading dreadnought ESS Revenant, a single rail cannon fired. A rod of depleted tungsten the size of a shuttle, moving at a fraction of light speed. It passed through the enemy's flagship, through the orbital foundry beneath it, and through the planet's crust. The impact vaporized an entire continent. Seconds later, the rest of the Iron Fleet unleashed their barrage. Orbital platforms shattered, fleets burned, worlds cracked open. The Varn's command net collapsed into screaming chaos. "They're not using FTL drives. How are they? Our sensors can't lock. They have no emissions. By the stars, they're everywhere." And then, the shadows landed. Human Marines, clad in reflective black armor, faces hidden behind mirror visors, dropped from orbit in silent pods. The Varn called them the Iron Wraiths. They moved like ghosts through fire and dust, their rail rifles whispering death. Cities fell without warning. Command centers turned to tombs. Even surrender signals were ignored. Humanity did not come to conquer. They came to erase. The reckoning of worlds' word spread faster than light. Entire systems surrendered upon hearing the name Iron Shadows. Armies laid down weapons before a single shot was fired. The Varn fleet's morale crumbled as ghost ships appeared in their home systems, executing precision strikes and vanishing again. It wasn't war. It was a purge. For every human life lost on Hesperia, 1,000 Varn lives were taken. For every city burned, a world was silenced. The Dominion High Council broadcast pleas for negotiation. Their messages went unanswered. Finally, Admiral Karth Velnor, the one who had ordered Hesperia's destruction, sent a direct transmission toward Earth. "Enough. You have proven your might. Let us end this bloodshed. We will pay restitution." The reply came in a single chilling phrase. "Restitution is measured in extinction." Then Revenant emerged from warp above the Dominion capital. Velnor watched from his flagship as the sky turned red. Every orbital defense system he had built was torn apart in seconds. His command ship's shields folded like paper. The last thing he saw was the Iron Fleet's silhouette eclipsing his sun. When the beam fell, the planet burned for 9 days. The silence that followed. And then, as suddenly as they had come, the Iron Shadows vanished. The Varn Dominion was gone, its worlds quiet, its fleets drifting wrecks. No occupation, no colonization, no claim. Only scorched ground and iron monoliths marking the ruins, inscribed with one word in every language known: Hesperia. The Galactic Council met once more, but the seats of the Varn remained empty. The survivors whispered of what they had seen. Dark ships without light, silent soldiers without faces, voices without mercy. No one knew where they came from or where they went afterward. All that remained was fear, and Earth, quiet once again. When questioned, the human ambassador merely said, "We prefer peace, but never mistake patience for weakness." Echoes in the void centuries later. In the forgotten edges of space, scavengers found a derelict ship drifting among the ruins of Varn Prime. Its data core still flickered, looping a single corrupted message. It was Velnor's final log. They came from the dark between stars. Not ships, not men, shadows cast by vengeance itself. We thought Earth defenseless. We were wrong. He paused, voice trembling, distant. If any find this, never wake them. Never cross the iron shadows. They do not forgive. They do not forget. They wait.